3, 2, we're live.
Oh,
Just like that.
we gotta go to the other chat though.
Yeah,
Yeah, hi.
well, it's too late. We're already alive. Huh. Oh, yeah, they can't hear you. Yeah, well, I control I control what the people hear. I am the media. Not you,
I
me.
was I was just about to say, what if he's over there doing a power move like, "Hi, welcome to Plasma Coin. We're doing TNT right now."
We're
We're
doing
actually
D&D.
doing
I'm the
League of
only one
Legends
here.
because everyone left.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would
I'm
suck.
taking control.
Imagine the drama.
I
Yeah, for
can't.
real. You
Man.
know what?
I'm drama
One day
free.
that one guy can play League of Legends all by himself, and no
Dude, I'd
one.
watch.
You'd watch?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Uh,
providing support for
I,
this stream.
I'd never seen that one guy stream by himself. It would be pretty interesting.
oh, I
Plus, a
suppose that's
league.
fair.
I'd be so good at it.
I may not play, but I can do sometimes watch.
I'd yell at the people until they showed up.
Disappointment.
That's what League of Legends gamers like. Anyways, let's get started.
Yes, let's.
No more talk of League.
What's you about that?
Anyway. How about an interrogation here on the stream?
Yeah, who wants to do the wrap up from last? Or wait, are we already live?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
live, yes.
Good.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
What?
So wrap up. Somebody? Anyone want to do
Do a
catch up?
recap. What
Okay.
happened?
I'm finishing the two little notes while you do that, and then I'll come back in with my other notes.
So you
Lyric and
guys.
Sakine got to play interrogators last time, and let me tell you, the guy they interrogated was a jerk. But of course, he was a teenager, so he was just an angsty teen. Go figure.
You
Yeah.
might want to be a
Dude,
mortician someday or
You
something.
also got called
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, we never really got into that a whole lot. Yeah, Sakine got called dad, but we ignored it.
No, we did
Basically.
not. Lyric literally gave me the side eye in the middle of the conversation with Broad because Broad actually called it out, and I was like, "Oh, hey, side eye." You
Look,
ignored it though. You
Yeah,
ignored it.
Sakine ignored it. He didn't care.
And
He's
then
like, "I'm not
Dad
coming
was
home with
like,
the milk."
"Oh." And
Yeah,
then
nope,
the
I left
child,
for milk.
yeah, the child's dad freaked out and wanted to go home and celebrate that she said a common word to a stranger.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
didn't care about the dad thing.
Nope. He was out.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we interrogated Kid, found out that his dad was cheating on a woman who was threatening the family. His mom was potentially being poisoned by his dad and the mistress.
lady.
Yeah, that's the word we need. The mistress. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then we have Brom putting the mistress at the house either right before or at the time of the murder of the dad. The dad was murdered, impaled on the banister somehow with the same chunk cut out of his neck. Mom went missing with all of her hunting stuff. Um, uh,
He
the
doesn't know exactly how that happened, but he did notice that there was a guy that looked suspiciously like Kipper in the graveyard where he likes to hang out because he's a moody teenager.
Yep,
And boy, have
Possibly
we all
going
done
towards
that.
possibly going towards that lady's house too, right?
Yeah.
yes. Nessa Scaleheart, which is what our police report has Volna, aka the mistress, written down for reasons why she is a person of interest, not for being the mistress, not
Yeah.
for threatening the family or anything like that.
Yeah.
She is also pregnant and was threatening the family that the dad needed to leave, and potentially was living in their basement for some reason.
Yeah.
Um,
The kid
The
didn't
long leg
really know
stuff.
that. Like, he didn't know why.
yeah. And then
No
we
matter how hard we
also
pressed.
Brom Brom said it looked like the cuts were because he was a little historian. He liked to go look up all the dead people to see if he could rob the graves for fancy stuff. And he thinks
An
it might be a
archaeologist, isn't he?
religious thing. And he did mention the name of the religion, but I am not seeing it with a quick glance on the notes.
Oh, it was the religion of the Blessed One.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Exactly.
then we got out of the interrogation and we're all teasing Lyric. I think that's about where we left off. Oh, and he has a headache.
Wait, what? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
poor
why were
Lyric.
we teasing? Why were we teasing me again? Other
Because
than
you
the fact
made
that he's
some sort of
greatest.
accidental pedophile comment, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
hoping
you
we
did.
wouldn't go over that again.
Oh yeah, I think you said you're gonna fuck up or fuck him up, and then we're like, he's 12, and it's like, oh.
No, it was no. I don't want to repeat it.
No, yeah. You basically said that you were
Like
that he
I
was
thought
a
he
nice
was an
looking
older.
kid.
I thought I forgot entirely who it was we were like
Oh,
interrogating.
no.
My dumbass pea-sized brain, just at some point in the like campaign went, oh, a butterfly. Not really, but you know ADHD. And then I came back going, oh yeah, let me
You
interrogate
tried to
him. Maybe I can
seduce
make him
him.
talk because I'm pretty. And everyone went, dude.
Ah.
All right. Well, now that we've recapped that again, so Brom leaves, and at that point, I imagine Lyric and Stakeen probably come back into the other room, and you see Sanchi and Silith, and obviously Lara in there. And you all—they're just sitting in there, and scene. Have at it, folks. Because
So,
Alara's just in the back, kind of like scrolling on her phone right now.
Okay, so she's not paying attention.
Not really. No, she sees you guys come back in, and she like looks up and then looks back down at her phone.
You did
Okay.
well.
Lyric looks over at Alara and tries to get her attention. Ma'am,
Yeah.
that kid's gonna be in prison either way, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's in prison.
So, like, weird question, but we do have an empty spot on Team B, don't we?
No, he's underage. No. As much
What?
as I think he'd be very, very smart and good in the future, no. You guys are the special ones. But that's here nor there. I don't think right now. And she keeps like laughing as she's looking at her phone. She's like, I don't think RQ is in any position to hire anyone else on currently.
Good
What
night.
makes you say that?
Well, I'm so sorry, but in the end of that, where you guys were doing all your things, I got a message from him that says, I can't believe they did this to me. And there's just a link, and it turns out last night they had to have a press conference, and what the Benedict Bulletin wrote about him was so good to just watch unfold into the public. So, my apologies.
What the right?
This is
Oh,
fun.
I mean, it's published. You all could go see it now. But, you know.
Is there a paper or something in the nearby vicinity for us to look at?
She's like, one moment. And she, like, pulls it up on the tablet. And, as you all know, you can view the Benedict Bulletin. We have the document. And, yeah.
Would someone like to read it for our viewers
Please do.
or show it?
Where is it at?
I sent the link in Discord.
The Discord.
Oh,
I
okay, that's why I'm
see.
not finding it.
Yep.
I'm looking in our documents.
Nope, it's an updating link. Therefore, I have it saved at the top.
Shoot.
Yep, so you all can scroll around and read it.
Ah.
But
How do I paste this into Roll20 in a way that
makes it.
Can
make
you
sense.
paste things into Roll20?
I don't think so. I could
Yeah.
maybe
See,
open
he
this.
still
and
has
give
an
it to me.
angry face for the press.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they got him all right.
It's quite becoming of him.
Wait till you read about what they said about him.
Mm,
I was gonna say, I guess one of us should
uh,
read it out loud for Lyric, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
for
that's right.
lyric, because
Yeah, it's too
big words.
challenging.
All right, lyric. Hang on. All right, let's see.
the
So
words are so
Takin
small.
goes over to lyric, and he does the thing where you know how when you're first learning how to read, you follow with your finger.
Yeah. Oh no.
Are you gonna start sounding it out?
Yep.
Commander.
No, not like that. He's just following along with the finger, and he's just like, okay, these are the words I'm reading, lyric. Just follow my finger so you can at least know what they look like. Commander Rylan Quantum holds an unplanned late night conference. What you need to know. Written by Scribbles Coward.
What a
Coward.
name.
Coward. The fact. Florentine, at 11 o'clock p.m., Commander Rylan Quantum held a press conference that was not scheduled talking about the Greaser case along with the information breach that occurred on August 22nd, which disclosed only the real names of
Is
some
it wit or
commanding
witch?
officers. It's which.
Okay.
Disclosed only the real names of some commanding officers at ranks commander and above. As Commander Ryland stated, while it is not ideal having our names open to the public to see, thankfully we have already controlled the press from writing any articles exposing the identities of our base. We have already assigned Team Checklist to investigate further on what occurred, including Team Darkside to further explore any other possible accomplices. Why aren't we Team Darkside?
I know, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a talk with him. Clearly, we should have picked our own name. Uh, anyway,
You are
we
my
have
brother
the
indeed.
person. Sure. We have the person in custody already who did breach our system. At this time, I will not disclose their name. When asked follow-up questions in regards to why does Commander Rylan Quantum has his full name on display but not other commanding officers, I was raised by my father who always told me, if you are going to show you are brave, strong, diligent, and someone to be trusted, they should know your name at least. So say good morning to your teachers, instructors, and coaches every day. Make them know your name. Plus, I have nothing to fear about my name being public. While you may know my name, you do not know my family at all. The location of my home, the location of my family's home, I know those loved ones to me are as safe as possible, so with nothing to fear, I want the city of Florentine to know I am here to protect them and their loved ones just as I protect mine. A reporter then asked if Commander Rylan was married or had any children. That's invasive. Commander Ryland, with a look of disapproval, and shortly said, next question. Commander Ryland Quantum refused to answer any further questions on the matter of his love life or the person they have in custody. One reporter asked about the new recruits that started recently and was curious on how they were doing. They are
Oh, this
showing
looks pretty good.
promise. They are showing promise with any new class. We are cautious about what their first task will be outside of the classroom, but we have taken more security by not showing them to the public, which we are aware is raising concern in the city. I must stress these securities are not due to the city becoming more dangerous, but because we are aware of multiple attempts, as we always are, of online criminals trying to hack into our systems. So for the safety of our recruits, we will be moving forward with not introducing any other new recruit class to the public. The room went into a roar of concern and everyone talking over another. I had never seen a press room in such disarray. Neither had Commander Rylan Quantum, as he had a look of disapproval for the second time this conference over the way we acted, saying while the room was up in arms, "To see such esteemed press act like this is a high school lunch table gossip session should be of the utmost concern to the citizens of Florentine." He then walked away from the stand. The room continued to be in disarray, but press was then pushed out of the room by lower ranked individuals. So how does this affect you, the citizens of Florentine? Know that our base 2 teams are actively working on making sure no personal identities were stolen or any other breach of information occurred. If you were exposed in the breach, you will be contacted by base 2 directly. Do not provide your information to no one that is not someone of an official ranking.
And you see in the corner just Ilara losing it. She is just like, I'm here for Florentine to protect them. She's just mimicking him. She's like, oh, and now that his love life is in the public eye and they're just going to be questioning him about it all the time, I can't wait to see how that happens.
I feel like he just issued a giant challenge, though.
Yeah, really. Not
Like,
knowing where his family lives? Come on now.
I mean, I
What
know
was he
it might
thinking?
sound stupid, but I know idiots that would try.
Oh my
I'm the one
I
goodness.
feel
saying
like
that.
we all do at that point.
Yeah. So with that, from what it sounds like, he will be dealing with the press for the next few hours. So good ol' Spears, you're in charge, it seems like. And you just hear him go, "Yes, ma'am." He's just silent.
Good to see he's still in high spirits.
At least he complimented us.
Yes.
I suppose
Good.
that's true. That's more than
Good.
he's ever really. In a backwards way, yeah.
I just thought he was lying.
Oh, good
Possibly.
heavens.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll take
I
it.
wish
Just a
I could
save
be there.
face.
And the fact the mic caught what he was saying. Anyways, back to the matter at hand. We must not worry about Commander Rylan Quantum's love life any further.
Definitely
She
ask
keeps
about,
laughing. Anyway.
we'll ask about his kid when we see him next. Got it.
Lyric, that sounds like your job.
See, I was gonna
All
ask
right.
him if if he's been casted for The Bachelor next season, but that's
What's that?
Oh, it's a show where men go and try to find like women to date and love, and it's all just aired on TV. It's one of those stereotypical love shows that are very casted and storylines and whatnot. Since
So that's
RQ
what
is
TV
apparently
is.
gonna
Lyric.
have a line of folks waiting to find out, because Lord knows what that reporter that asked that question wrote. Don't know where she was from, but how interesting that could be. Oh, I can't wait to read it. Anyhow, back to the matter at hand. Are we all feeling prepared to talk and bring in Valna? Seems like the next logical step to me, I imagine.
I believe that's where we are headed. Do we get a lunch break or anything? We've been at it for what, 6 hours? At least
Give or
that's what it
take.
feels like.
Yeah, we can have a little bit of a lunch break if you'd like, but
Oh,
it is getting
oh,
close to
great.
evening time. So,
Can I do an insight check on Lyric right now?
yeah.
She remembers you being pouty and having a headache. Do. How you feeling?
There looks at her, and immediately she can kind of see, like, for some reason, he kind of looks like he hasn't slept in days.
I was gonna
Even
say,
though-
I don't know if you would have noticed. She's probably been watching you this entire time.
Oh,
One of
yeah,
those,
we
like,
both have. We have to keep a
examining.
mind link.
Well, no, I meant since like you got out of the interrogation room, would have just been like, you can tell when someone's studying you, sort of deal, like the intense gaze.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the most I've ever thought. ever for as long as I had to. Oh my gosh.
She'll just pat
And
him
then
on
he
the
just kind of
shoulder.
like leans against the wall, and I have an enormous headache right now.
That's why I think lunch break would be good.
Good. Food's on the way.
Give you a few
Oh,
minutes
thank
to
sweet Christ.
relax.
Whatever that means.
And a couple minutes walk by, and then one of the guards comes in, and they have like trays of food of your guys' usual standard food that you would get at the base. And food is served, and you all get to eat.
I say Silith rolls her eyes at it like the same thing.
Do
Do you want my grape?
Your singular grape.
Thought it was 2.5 grapes.
It is. But he only offered one.
He needs those grapes.
You look like you really need them to keep up your strength.
Oh, I just always offer her the grapes because she doesn't eat as much as the rest of us most of the time. And besides, grapes are awesome. Have a grape. And he just plops a grape on her plate.
Yeah, but if you have a headache, Lyric, you should take care of your health too.
Look, I just need to not
Think.
focus for a while. Yeah, that. And maybe if I had just the tiniest bit, he just like slowly turns his head over to Alara, like of like just a swig of the flask.
Ah, you're hungover. That's what it is.
Oh, I have
We're
not had enough to
withdrawing.
drink yet to be drunk.
I said hungover.
We're withdrawing.
Weren't we
I've
out
been-
yesterday? You seem to be enjoying yourself quite a bit.
I didn't get drunk. Only Alara did.
Hmm.
Look, if anyone's going over a hangover, it would be me for the next 5 years because of how long I was in prison.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you're lightweight now. Not used to it.
What? What? That can happen. You can lose. You can lose your. Oh my god! I could save so much money. I will only have to do 1 or 2 bounties a year.
Ay, ay, ay. Called a tolerance break. Maybe you should try it more often.
I think I'll have a long enough one just doing this job.
For dinner, can we try, some local greaser food instead? She smiles at Alara.
I don't think now is a good time for us to be roaming the streets of Greasor, really.
We can't get
So-
delivery?
But we could. But what if we go check out the places that who was last seen? That might be a fun time.
You
Hell,
want
it'd
to
be an
go
immediate
on
win
a
to our
romantic walk in the graveyard? Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
my goodness.
that
Aren't you two related?
that does sound nice, but like I feel like the mission should come first, Silent. I mean, oh, Lyra.
Well then,
Also,
we'll see
Alara's like
about
right.
later. So, does that mean we're sending Sanchi and Silith back in?
It sounds like it, especially if we have whatever system hooked up that way.
Yeah,
Here
and
and
since
here can get
Lyric's
a break.
head hurts.
Yeah.
Sounds good then, ladies.
Do you still want me to, be a bridge between the two?
Nah, you're
How
good.
much would that hurt your head?
I think
I mean,
you
I don't
learned
really
that.
have to do any thinking if I'm just being a parrot.
You're good. All right. Well, finish up eating, and I know she'll be arriving soon, I guess. So, chop, chop.
Munch, 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 chew, 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 swallow.
30 minutes later. And you're done eating. And with that, let's get you two out of here. Because y'all ain't in here no more. It is yoink. And yoink in the room. You could change your order if you want, if someone wants to be closer to the door. And as you all walk into the room and everything settles down,
Do we get
you
a
oh
brief on her first or anything? Because we have her as a person of interest for Nessa.
mhm.
Did you have any other information about the case without tainting things that we'd like to know about? And did we ever get the dad's name?
Yeah, his name is Kale.
Kale?
Oh,
Kael.
delicious.
Like the vegetable.
Mhm.
I thought that was Ale. Like, I know I'm not good at all the common words.
I mean,
Well, that's
phonetically
not how his
speaking.
name's spelled.
Yes,
That's
a
how the vegetable's
vegetable.
spelled.
Yes.
Kael. Pretty sure is how his name is spelled.
Okay.
Look, lady, I only meant phonetically.
Mhm. But no, I have nothing much on her. I know she was cleared of any crimes or anything. She just knows Nessa.
She was cleared? What was she cleared on?
Well, seeing she was the last one to see Kale alive that morning, her DNA wasn't found on anything.
That seems extra suspicious to me, but okay.
Again, they cleared her, not us. But as
Yeah,
of
sounds
now,
like a
she's
cleanup
not.
job.
As of now, she's not suspected of any of the crimes or deaths currently.
Did they find any weird potions, alcohols in that house? Since it was a active crime scene, since Brahm accused her / Kale of poisoning the mother?
Nope, nothing was found out of the ordinary.
I was going to say, I think the best way to proceed would potentially be starting off on the same line of questioning for Nessa, and then once we get that information out of the way, potentially ask more about the connection to the Wind Whisperer family. That way, hopefully, she doesn't clam up.
I think it's great strategy. You all?
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll let you take the lead.
Alrighty, I guess whenever she's ready.
Yep, and you all are sitting in there. And she walks in and she is escorted like with a guard like in her arm essentially, and he like holds her hand until she sits down. She's wearing sunglasses and like a beach hat, and she like removes both of those and she's like, "Can you get me a glass of water, dear?"
She's
And
a
he's like, "Yeah."
Kardashian.
And he's like, yes. And he like runs off and you just see him so blushing. And then like he comes back with an actual glass with like ice in it and hands it to her with like a coaster. And she's like, "Thank you."
I give Alara a look. A very
Yeah.
meaningful look. Like, you just hire guards who are gonna act this way?
She just like shrugs her shoulders. She's like, it wasn't me. And so with that, changes. You all should have access to her little photo now. And she looks at you all like smiling, and then you like it's not even like hidden. She like looks you up and down from at the table, and then she just smiles and she goes, "Good evening. So nice to meet you. I'm Valna Witherthin. How can I help you today?"
Can I start off with I'm guessing perception check? How pregnant is she?
Yeah, go for it. She's not that pregnant. Like, she doesn't look really that pregnant. She's wearing like a looser like linen shirt with like a skirt.
So
So
kind of like hiding it more so than.
not like really that she's hiding it. She's just not showing that much. She's very
Okay.
she's like thin. She's thin framed and fit.
Okay.
So
Just because I wanted to. Feels like
Yeah.
an important detail first.
yeah.
I did forget that she was pregnant.
You felt
That's why I'm
here.
We
she's
even
like,
talked about her being Pregarnt.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
I
I would
didn't
like
catch
to
that.
start off with an insight check, like, you know what,
Is she
get that
truly
one out of the
Pregunta?
way.
she
like-
seems smug.
Yep.
Is what you are inciting on
Yup.
her.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I
Yep.
got that too without even inciting.
Right?
Yeah.
Just from
It's
the way
very
she,
obvious.
just from the way she's just like pointing and getting the guard to bring her water.
And she looks and just smiling. Well,
Well, thank
hello?
you for your time. We are here because we had some questions. We heard that you were a client of Nessa Scale Parts. Is that correct?
Yes.
What type of goods does she sell? We know she's an herbalist. Does she specialize in anything?
Well, anything that a normal herbalist would work with, but mostly it was just natural remedies instead of all of the chemically filled, modern medicine that's out there, which I don't disagree with. It's just if I'm not needing it right now, I'm not going to immediately go for it. So I try to do more natural ways. Same with my clothing and everything. I like it natural.
I agree. You know, all this processed gunk. I really enjoyed my time out east away from all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if she had any specific area that she liked to go forage? Did she have a specific spot or was it just all about?
Um, well, yes, she had a normal spot, and it would usually just be the woods around her home since she owned roughly 40 acres.
I was gonna say, is it a secure area? Do you know if there had been anyone suspicious in that area lately?
Suspicious? Um, hmm.
Did she mention anyone in her woods that shouldn't be there?
Oh, no, no one dangerous. But she did say she saw a man in the woods by himself recently. She never gave a description, but I wouldn't be shocked if he maybe, had something. Like he was someone else that she never really spoke about before. No one goes in the woods alone or at night unless you are Nisa, I guess.
Uh, I believe didn't her property come to the edge of the cemetery? Did she mention anything about that either? I don't know if she went that close to it with her foraging or not.
Um, no, well, the land did. There was. Which cemetery? I guess I should ask.
I thought there was one that came right up to the edge. Ah, gosh, I can't remember the name.
Well, there is the one next to the Wind Whisper home, but there's another, there's a patch of woods in between that and another cemetery that's there that's very, very old. Nasa talked about it a lot, but she was also very clairvoyant with nature and this land in particular. She used to go on and on about tales of centuries or even timelines ago, as she would say. But
You and Nessa sound like you were real close. What is exactly the nature of your relationship? You don't sound like you were just a client, you know?
well, there was well, and she thinks for a minute, and well, I do help her out from time to time on the weekends, and we usually have our girl chats on the weekends and such, but there was nothing out of the ordinary when I saw her. I would help her pack orders from time to time.
Do you know of anyone that would have wanted to hurt her?
Outside of, you know, any, like... well, in short, no. Most of the science community didn't like her, and she didn't really get along with anyone at the hospital, or any of the hospitals at least. They didn't like her, seeing they claimed she was a crazy person for trying the things she would do to cure people and whatnot. But I mean, I was just going there mainly for I had severe allergies to pollen in this area. And at a point, I was bedridden for seasons, and whatever mixture she made, it worked when the doctors had poked and prodded me for years and nothing would change. So I know her and Xenia did not get along very well.
Bina?
Yes, she worked at the science facility.
I was gonna say, we heard rumors of some bad blood between her and Seraphine. Do you know anything about that?
Nisa and Serafina?
Yes.
Not that I know of. No, I mean, I imagine her living behind her house probably didn't help anything, but...
Oh no.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna
Odd.
insight.
She seems like she's honestly telling the truth. I
Okay.
mean, well, they were like kind of sworn enemies, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know too much about it. It was just that Serafina's job was killing animals that were not endangered, which none of the animals in the local woods are, but Nisa always said that there are many creatures within these woods most folk do not know about, and if they were to be hunted, the land could enter a state of chaos like the olden days. So, while I don't think she necessarily had an issue with Serafina, but it was more so the hunting that she did. But I know she didn't like her son in the graveyards either. But
Were
again,
you
Nisa was very clairvoyant about things and always talked of tales on the history of the land.
do you know if she had any connection to a Talia Bronzebrow or an Alara Moonshadow?
No, no, I never saw any orders for them or heard of their names in crossing.
Do you know if she had any weird or extra special orders lately?
No, I saw nothing out of the ordinary. And she's telling the truth.
And when did you last see her?
Oh goodness, when would I have last seen her? So, oh, one moment. Well, I found out I was pregnant roughly at the beginning of August or so, and I believe it was the 8th was when I went to first pick up some prenatals that she had made for me, and then it was a 2-week supply, so I would have seen her on the 22nd, I believe is the last day I saw her.
Give me 1 second, I'm trying to put that in the notes.
You're good.
I'm putting it in the calendar.
It makes sense for the pause because you could really be doing that in there too.
This room is
That's
so
very true.
gloomy.
I know.
like-
I wish there was more windows instead of. I feel like we need better lighting. The feng shui's off.
I agree. I miss hearing the rain of Grisor. I have a metal drum that sits outside and plays music all day.
It always smells so nice after the rain.
Truly.
Out of character. Does she, are we aware whether she knows or not that Nisa is dead?
Yeah, you know she's aware.
Okay.
Um, did Nisa mention finding anything out of the ordinary while foraging recently? Or anything in particular about that other graveyard?
Oh, the other graveyard. She used to talk about it so often, and she would often go into that graveyard and talk to the dead. And she had even found, like I had previously mentioned, an abandoned portion of the graveyard that looked like it was neglected for probably, God, I think she said thousands of years, is what the spirits told her. She found a single gravestone that looked like it was as worn as it was just time. But she found a chain that was of like a necklace that was left at the base. It was missing a pendant, and she knew it had one because the ghost of the red demon always told her about it. She always wondered who that demon was, but regardless, she said this land was steeped in history forgotten. But as for seeing anything out of the ordinary, if you count spirits out of the ordinary, then yes, she did. But outside of that, no.
And so you said you go to her for allergies and prenatal vitamins.
I
Uh,
did, yes.
does she offer any other tinctures that people might be upset about her offering?
Well, any hospital's going to be upset about any other thing that you offer that takes business away from them. But
More so, did she offer things like aborticides or things that could be potentially dangerous?
no, not that I saw.
I'm
It
gonna.
was always to help, but I never saw any harmful things come from her. She's telling the truth.
So, since you helped her so much, I'm sure you picked up a good bit of the different herbs and their uses, right?
No, not really. I was there, she would hand me the bags and she'd be like, pack these all together. And I was like, okay. And write who they went to. And then usually I would take them to the post office.
So you weren't like an apprentice or anything.
No, no,
Help.
no, 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 no. No, no, no. It was not my specialty at all. That's not what I do for a living. So,
What do you do for a living?
what do I do? I'm so happy you asked.
I shouldn't fast.
I'm currently a buyer for high-end fashion made of traditional and mainly focused around traditional and historical fashion, along with working with the textile industry to bring more natural fibers back into our era, as most of it's unfortunately polyester and fake synthetic fibers. But to each their own.
Is there a market for that here?
In Greasor, we did have a few conferences here, so I've been here for a few years and definitely looking at Greasor because they are very eco-friendly forward. Well, are in probably a corrupt way from what it sounds like, but what business isn't? But yeah, there is.
So does that pay well, out of curiosity?
Yes, my family's had it for generations.
I'm gonna insight that. Not doing very well on
From what you
that.
could tell, she's telling the truth.
We also incited her claim that she didn't know much, didn't pick up anything about the herbs and stuff.
Correct.
Silent getting
She was truthful.
19. Uh-huh.
Yep. Yep.
So there was you mentioned how the Department of Energy and Science didn't get along with Nissa. Did the recent energy outages that have been going through the area affect her at all?
Well, not Nisa, not really, but to keep it bluntly, just with the whole science community, she was a thorn in their side, and I imagine if it was me, I think they probably took her out. Her home was on the land that they were trying to tear down the whole forest and build the new energy source building on top of, but Nisa not only owned nearly all of those woods back there, she also owned 40 acres of it, She was protecting the spirits and creatures that lived there. And we should not be burying our history for the future. The future should highlight and honor the past, is what Nisa always said. So, they were constantly going back and forth about the land. And that is what her and Xenia most fought about constantly.
You say that, but the method of her death seemed like it was a little ritualistic. Maybe done by someone who would be interested in spirits. Do you have any comment on that?
Besides the spirits that Nisa always talked about, and that red demon she always brought up, but no, I don't know of any. If you're asking about cults or religions, I haven't seen any of that around here.
Did she not have her own religion or following?
No. Nisa was very much in the woods on her own. Most of the town does think the Energy and Science Building is doing great work, when in reality, Nisa knew the underbelly of it, which was they're just going to tear down the ecosystem around here to build their own synthetic ecosystem, to
Okay.
build the new energy, since solar doesn't work here very well like the rest of the world.
Have you seen any noteworthy people from the Department of Energy and Science stopping by her abode, by her shop?
Not when I was there on the weekends, no. Nisa always said they showed up during the weekdays, but I was busy taking care of my own business during the weekdays.
Were there other customers that you were familiar with?
There was some all around. She used to send out packages. I don't remember any of the names, though, unfortunately, but she had other clients.
So now that she's gone, what do you think will happen to her clients? Is there a competitor of sorts in the area, or do you think they'll just go back to the hospitals?
I'm not too sure. I can't speak on them. I know for me, I'm struggling greatly with it, and that's why I'm talking to my therapist about learning. And I asked some of the police force as well about seeing if I could go into her home just to pack up her things, since she had no loved ones, to see if she had any books or remedies so I could at least continue my own care. I know she used to write down recipes and such, I imagine. So, if I can at least find my own recipes for my own stuff, I may be able to find the ingredients online, is what I'm hoping. But as for her other clients, I'm not too sure. And she's telling the truth.
God damn, the one time I rolled a 20.
Yeah. It's okay.
Do you need a snack or anything? I'm just a little bit thirsty. I'm gonna step out and grab a water real quick.
Oh, you're good. I had dinner before I came.
He doesn't
Or
like
so is it.
commoner water.
No, I just
has
meant
to
as
be
a
sparkling.
quick excuse to brainstorm.
You still haven't asked about
Why
Kale.
is this?
Trying to think of. I want to drop a husband comment, but I'm trying to figure out how to word it without being like, we know. And I would have done it in that last one, but I'm like, crap, she said therapist. I'm like, damn it.
Maybe just say something about like the rumors.
Well,
There
I
are
wasn't gonna do
rumors.
that. I wanted to first be like, oh, so you and your husband must be happy about the child, and see her reaction first. Like something like
Yeah.
that to first gauge her reaction before going into the rumors.
Are you calling her fat?
Oh, maybe say something. Yeah, Maybe say something along the lines of, have you had any, I've heard that pregnancies can be fairly complicated. Have you had any, or has your husband been helping you out with any of your pains kind of deal?
Well, right now we're still kind of keeping the illusion this is about Nessa. That's why I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate it in, like connecting the two dots.
Maybe have they thrown you a party yet? It seems like you were close.
Well, she said prenatals, so I'm like that's an in, but I'm just
I mean, she's not even showing it, right?
No.
So.
not completely, but she brought it up.
Mhm.
That's why it's like that gives me the permission to bring it up now in a more sly way before getting direct. This is why I'm brainstorming with y'all real quick. Any questions do you think it would be? Again, the in-character excuse to go out of character for 2 seconds.
Yep. She's just sitting in there, like, not necessarily filing her nails, but like looking at them and admiring them. Santi, are you in the room still, or did
Yeah,
you
I'm still
also
in the
leave?
room. I'm just making
Okay.
small talk about her day and the weather, waiting on my co-worker to get back.
Mm-hmm.
Nice it is to spread your wings in the wind.
All right, I think I can ask her about how she's gonna do the birth. See if she's gonna get a doula or a midwife or some shit. I think that's the best way. Okay. Again, I'm trying.
Look,
You expected help from Lyric and Stakeen?
I know, right?
Laura just told you to ask him out flat. Just like, I would just bring it up, honestly. But be elusive. I think it'll be more interesting.
Again, I want to get the reaction first, especially if I say husband.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be telling kind of the relationship, and then I can go further.
Yeah.
All right, so I will go back in. Knock, knock. Excuse me, entering. Sorry about that. We've been talking to so many people. It's just a little bit thirsty. So, out of curiosity, did Nisa give you any recommendations for your birthing process? Any doulas or midwives or anything like that?
Oh,
Is your
yes.
is your husband going to be involved in the process, or?
And she like smiles, and like it's a very pained smile, but she smiles. She goes, "If I had a husband, I would have a ring. But no, she did recommend many doulas to me." And Lyric, with your insight in particular, you notice the pained smile
Holy
is definitely a hurt pained smile. Like, it is a tough topic for her to talk
Okay.
about.
That was the point.
Really?
I wanted to
Really?
be the little sneaky little shit in there.
You've
Really
hurt her
quick,
greatly.
I just want to say we got that completely by luck. I stood up for a second and stepped on my laptop, and it just did that. I had no intention of rolling that dice.
Beautiful.
That
Also,
could have been any role.
right. Well,
So
yeah, no, so you notice.
I relay these thoughts to Lyra.
Okay.
Yep.
And I tell her to press on.
I mean, if there, I apologize about that. Didn't mean to assume anything. I know the metal tends to hurt my skin. I didn't want to assume anything.
Good thing
I'm
we
sure
don't
you
have
and
to
your
lie.
partner are extremely excited about the baby. I know it's always a celebration for my family whenever there's another child.
Yes, absolutely. We were very excited.
Why do you say were?
Well, I think it's no secret that me and Kale were together. And I think you all know how he ended up.
Ooh.
That's the Wind Whisper man, correct?
Yes, Brahm's father.
Oh, so she's just coming out with it then.
Well, everybody knows.
So it's no. I thought weren't the Wind Whispers still together? That must have been terribly awkward for you.
It was an inconvenience, seeing I feel like if he had just told his parents the truth, that he had finally found his true love of his life and he had learned from his lesson from being a youth, he would still be alive, and seeing he would not have been in his home but our home.
Incite that as well.
She's being truthful.
Is it specifically trying to be snarky, like
No.
trying to blame him sort of deal? Because that's the
Nah.
vibe I'm getting.
She is definitely like being snarky in that regard of he should have told his parents, but for whatever reason in her eyes, she believes he didn't try hard enough is definitely what she's getting at.
So do you think he was specifically targeted, or because he's dead, but the mother is missing? Do you have any idea what that's all about? Any insight on that?
No. I have no information on where Serafina is. Just being truthful.
Damn, so many wasted bets.
Ain't that just the way?
Every time.
Do you have any idea who would have wanted to hurt Kale then?
No. Besides that, he always assumed one day his wife would find out about us and assumed she would harm all of us. Stockeen, you...
I was gonna say I'm also gonna do an insight. Damn, a
Okay.
+5 and still doing meh.
Sanchi, are you gonna do one?
Yeah, I'll do one.
Ah,
I'll give it a fair shake.
If you get a 13, I'm giving up.
Oof. I guess she gets to keep
From
her
what you guys
secrets.
can tell, she's telling the truth.
Keep your secrets.
Do you have any concerns about raising your child in a community where there have just been a number of violent murders?
I'm deeply concerned, yes, but not
Well,
only
don't be.
do
We'll
I...
solve them.
Well, thank you, but I also know I'll probably be heading back to where I usually live here soon.
Where is that?
I've only been in... I usually am a resident of Benedict.
Ah. Wonderful
But
place.
I was stationed here for about 2 years now, I believe. So my tenure is ending here.
So we heard that you did not get along with Brahm in particular. Any particular reason for that?
Not just Brahm.
Well, Brahm is a child, of course, and as children do, they tend to draw exaggerations, which I can't blame him for. It was a weird situation for him to find out, and I had told Kale we shouldn't be as open about things, but it was ultimately his decision.
Did you even try to get to know the boy better? You know, since you were with his father.
I didn't think it was appropriate to really get close with his son and his, ultimately his probably then wife at that point, because children always tell their parents everything. There's no secret with children. So it just did not feel appropriate to get close to his child.
So you don't particularly care about his approval, even though you would potentially be his stepmom and be the mother of his brother.
Well, I don't really seek approval from anyone, but ultimately, while I may have been his stepmother, from how Kale had put it, he didn't seem like he was going to continue to have a relationship with Brahm and Serafina after he left with me. Plus, ultimately, if Brom didn't approve of me as a stepmother, it wasn't really any of my concern. This was between me and Kale, and the love we shared was very deep.
Well, you see, we heard that you are threatening both him and his mother.
No.
Insight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not again.
It's okay, it's okay. One of us rolled
16's
5.
decent. It's not great, but
You can tell she is not necessarily lying, but she's more so on the fence of, I don't think I ever threatened to kill them, you said? I may have threatened to say your father will be out of your life, but never to kill them.
Ain't calling you
I think
a
it was
truther.
something
Oops,
along the
wrong
lines
thing.
of threatening to get rid of them or have them disappear or things like that. Not directly kill.
Well, then I guess it could be extruded that way, but that's never what I meant to, like, get rid of them. No, it was more so get rid of their father out of their lives. Or his life. But no. So Brahm may have misunderstood, but genuinely, it
Still
was
sus as fuck.
misconstrued. I never would threaten to kill anybody. But she's being truthful.
God
Mm.
damn it.
She'd never threaten to kill anybody.
Turns out this
She'd
rich
have
lady's
someone
actually
else
nice.
do it. I wouldn't say that. Maybe she didn't think that she needed to get him out of his life, but someone else could do it. You know, like a assassin.
Mm,
Sorry, I'm not in the room with you.
did I do it?
Well, they could still hear.
Yeah, there's this weird brain
Yep.
speaker thing.
Mm-hmm. You guys got the little earpiece.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I thought I was. Should I? Because I think basically I was talking to Lyric, but.
Yeah, I was just talking to Stakim.
So where were
I forgot about
you
those.
on the 19th when Kale unfortunately met his end? Anything
Mm.
specific stands out about that day?
Nothing in particular. I know I wasn't there for long that day. He mentioned that his wife left early that day, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll be over. And I think I showed up at my usual time, which was about 9, and we met briefly, and there was an argument that had occurred, and ultimately I ended up leaving after the argument because I told him it wasn't good for me and the baby.
Was Brom there before or during that time? Did he leave while you were there or anything like that?
I believe he had shown up, yes. He had, like, tripped on the stairs or something.
But you think he left?
I don't know if he necessarily left. I know he went into his room, but
I would like to insight that. I'm just typing stuff up.
Lyric, did they ask about the room downstairs?
Not that I'm aware of.
You might want to
Well,
Boo.
since
relay that to Stylith.
Hey, Silas.
I am aware. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Holy shit, she heard you.
Oh, I thought you were doing the mind link.
well, didn't we also have the
No.
earpieces?
yeah.
Yeah, we have the earpieces too. We can hear what you're saying, which is why he doesn't need to do the mind link unless he needs to talk to me. Or
Oh. Well,
Privately.
alright then.
I see.
so you were at that house that day, correct? And you were there semi-often. Is
Every
that
day.
correct? Do you know
Mostly.
anything about the basement in that house?
Yeah, I do. The basement he was re-renovating it, And he was also making a woodworking station in there because he was going to be making the crib and such out of natural fiber wood from the local area, from some dead trees that Nisa said we could use.
Insight on that as well. I didn't know if anyone else wanted to insight her day's event.
But she's telling the truth on it. Yep.
Including for, like,
What a
her
waste.
timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I am having issues understanding is you are over semi-often, you would say, correct?
Every weekday, yes.
And somehow they found no physical evidence of you ever being there.
Well, none at the crime scene. My DNA and such was, of course, at the house, in the bedroom. The sheets. I had a hairbrush there, but there was nothing of my fingerprints or anything at the crime scene.
And where did you keep your hairbrush and what's not?
I kept it in the basement bathroom.
Is that where the two of you tended to stay whenever you were over?
No, we were in his bedroom.
Shame.
But Serafina was a very diligent woman, and Kale had always said if I left anything up there, like an extra hairbrush or a hair was there, then she would know. He said she had a wicked sense of smell, so he always made sure to change the sheets and everything, every day. Just telling the truth.
So do you think that Seraphine would have been capable of murdering her husband in the fashion he was murdered?
Easily.
And do you know anything? Did they mention anything about the injury to his neck? Is that something Seraphina would have been known for doing? Anything religious?
Well, I know she kills animals for a living, so she knows her way around a knife. And
But
she's muscular and strong. She's carried animal carcasses by herself. Big ones, not just like a rabbit or a fox. She used to carry elk just by herself.
gonna insight that as well. It's probably truthful, but
From what you can tell, she's truthful. Yeah. And I think the real question is if I truly believe she would do that, though. I don't know why she would want to kill her husband that she loved so dearly.
well, we heard that she had been acting unusual for the last few weeks or so. Do you know anything about that? Did Kale ever mention anything about that?
Yes, he mentioned she was acting very different and stressing him out, but usually I was the release to that stress, if you know what I mean.
I bet you. I bet he was always stressed then.
Yes. Very.
There were potentially rumors that Kale may have been poisoning her. Would you know anything about that?
I don't know how Kale would even get a hold of poison. So no.
Well, there is an apothecary that lives right next door.
Yes, but he did not go to Nisa.
I guess I'll insight that one then, since.
She's telling the truth so far. Yep.
Okay,
Damn.
well,
She's as truthful as possible on it. She knows nothing about it.
It reminds me of Fathom's younger brother every single time we tried to play coup, and we thought he would lie, and he never did. So we would always lose.
Telling the truth while playing coup is the best way to do it, but doing it correctly where you only play the details of one card.
Yep.
You only talk about one card the entire time. Best way to get someone in coup.
Mm-hmm. God, I miss that game.
Such a good game.
But yes, no. No. Not just that Nisa never would sell poisonous herbs to harm anyone. She was in the business of helping people.
Do you know of anyone who would want to hurt either Serafina or Kale?
Mm, mm. And she like pauses for a second and she goes, "No. I don't. Besides that, he was worried about his wife possibly harming all of us one of these days."
I mean, that seemed real believable, what with the pause and all.
Does anyone else want to roll?
Throw one in there,
Go
see if
for
their
it.
luck's changed.
Oh.
Silith, you can tell that she's lying.
Someone got it.
Time to suss her out.
No, I missed like the last 3 words of what she had said. That's where I'm like, crap.
She just talked about how, like, he was worried about his wife taking us all out.
So then what was she concerned about? Ooh.
I asked if she knew who would want to hurt Serafina or Kale, and she said, and she lied, no.
There's not anyone at all besides Seraphine. We do not believe she returned to the house that day.
This lady
Um,
confuses me. She feels like she would have done it, but she also just can't see where she would have done it.
The
Well,
best liars can
Like,
hide
she seems like the
everything.
right bitch.
well, to confirm, you are speaking of Serafina?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, the accent is not very strong in the E's.
Right.
Say.
Well, obviously he was worried about his wife, of course, but the only reason I didn't mention it prior was because it only happened once, but he did mention someone attempting to break into the house once. He didn't have any cameras or anything, but and it was dark out, and he only heard the door handle jiggle once or twice, and then he heard someone scurrying off down the street, and it was night, so he couldn't see, and either the person had a very long coat on or they had a tail, is what he said.
How long ago was that?
Oh goodness. That had to have been. It was right around after. I want to say it was on. He mentioned it on the Monday following, so. And it was a few days after I saw Nisa, so the 11th, I believe, is when he said it happened, because he said it happened on that Saturday.
Do you know anything about a Rook Nightfall? I hear he is a sketchy character in town.
Uh, who? No, I've never heard
Or
of him.
Nighttail? Sorry, my bad. Nighttail.
No, I've never heard of him. Just tell him the truth.
How could she?
At this point, Lyric's gonna waste all of his good rolls.
Oh
Should
yeah.
be.
Oh yeah. It's just like it's just like his predecessor all over again.
Oh no. Poor Zminiar.
I was gonna say, have you heard of potentially... I mean, you mentioned that you hadn't heard of a Lara Moonshadow, correct?
Lara Moonshadow. Who is she?
She's a tabaxi shopkeeper. I believe she does basket weaving, so very much into the natural fibers. I would have thought you would have run into her at some point with such similar
No.
lines of work.
No. I'm not a street merchant.
I'm not a poor, is what she's saying.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
rolls in
why did that
better
make me
sickness.
feel angry?
She is telling the truth, though. She does not know Ilara Moonshadow.
She's too high above her.
And you don't think she would have... I mean, did Nessa ever provide any type of, like, what is it, normally like sweetgrass used for basket weaving? That's not something that would have been like a regular thing that would have gone through Nisa's store?
No. Nisa always made her own paper out of the dead trees she found.
I understand that, but the sweetgrass, it's like a long, stringy plant
Mm-hmm.
that would be used for weaving. That sounds like a very good like business opportunity between them, but
No.
their paths never crossed.
No, Nisa did not really go into town if that's where this basket weaver was. No. I would take her mail out on the weekends. She wasn't really welcome into town.
Why is that?
Well, she's pretty much public enemy number one to the science facility, and everyone here loves a hospital. So,
I mean, we've heard rumors from other people that the hospitals have not been particularly good with their patients. So I would think that her going into town, she could get quite a few clients. And the way you
N-
spoke, it made it sound like she probably went into the hospitals to try and get new clients.
that was before she stopped just coming to town all in together. I ultimately, through my business, often people would ask about my skin or how I got over the allergies that I used to be bedridden with, and I've promoted her business. So there were several clients of my own that I brought in for her. And then her clients usually told their friends, and that's how she did it. But after everything that happened with the hospital and the science community and all of that going public with local press, she just was kind of pushed out.
Can you tell me more about this incident?
Well, it was many years ago now. Since I've been here, she was exiled, but ultimately she told me that she used to go into town to get her groceries and everything, and she saw, like, she had walked by the hospital several times, and, or at least like the local clinic that's kind of in town. And ultimately, there was a woman fighting about her prescription and how they wouldn't refill it for whatever reason. And Nisa walked up and said, I can just make you a remedy. And whatever that pharmacist was, I think she ended up getting fired anyways, but she just went off the rails on Nisa. And then pretty much the new kind of like head honcho of the hospital or something, like, came in, and there was a whole bunch of local press slander, like with the local newspaper and or article writers. I don't know. I read only the local paper in my area because reading the world news gets very overwhelming. And they were just slandering her left and right. It was like corporate bullying. It was wild. And at that point, then there was just a bunch of false accusations and everything about natural medicine and how it's ineffective, it's poisonous, and you should only be going here to get your health care taken care of. And ultimately, it was then everyone's just like, we'll go with the hospital because they had more money and more press to bully her out. And so she started growing her own vegetables and just living off of her 40 acres.
That insight's probably not gonna say much, but
She's saying the truth. And then if you're talking about the conversations with Xenia, Xenia used to go to her home all the time, and ultimately Nisa and Xenia were, it's like a hurricane and forest fires. It's something that will never exist at the same time, and they were like that. And if they were in a room together, Nisa would be shouting at Xenia on how terrible she is, and Xenia would be saying how terrible Nisa is, and both had strong opinions and were never going to see eye to eye.
if she was so hated by the community, why didn't she ever leave? Did she ever talk about wanting to leave or anything like that?
No, Nisa would never leave the woods. Again, she was very connected to the nature and this land in particular.
Did you also know Xenia very well?
No, I didn't. No, I don't know her very well, but I saw her at one of the conference where I met Kale, and I know she was there, and I spoke to her that night.
What did you speak about?
Well, we just did conversation in passing
I
because
see.
genuinely most of that night is a blur except for when I saw Kale for the first time.
Of course, of course.
So what was Kale's line of work? I know his wife was a hunter, but what did he do? I vaguely recall some sort of family money or something like that.
Correct. He was also in a family business. They helped manage they helped manage something. I didn't fully understand, but they were like a management of other smaller companies. Like an accounting firm or something of that effect.
And would his job would his job made him a target for retribution or anything like that? If he pushed out too small of a company or did their paperwork incorrectly or anything like that?
No. No one was out to harm Kale except for apparently whoever tried to rob their house once, and from what Kale said, his wife. Telling the truth. For both.
No,
Wow.
no one would hurt him.
Plus, besides, Kale was so charismatic, and he nearly glowed even in a room full auditorium full of people. And
That just means someone had to be jealous of him. He painted his own target on his back.
I was gonna say, you mentioned there was strain between him and his family. Can I understand that the potential child out of wedlock would have been that, but was there any other strain between him and his family?
uh no, besides that, Kale was very, very upset that he couldn't leave his wife without, for whatever reason, he was so torn on his family, like, accepting the divorce. It was very, very weird. But he knew if he had upset his family, he would not inherit the company. So, and that was a big, very important to him, was having that, because ultimately Kale kind of always had a picture of what his life would be. And while that picture didn't pan out how he wanted, he he had found the one he wanted to marry, which was me. And I was the one that he had pictured his life with and having a child with. And, well, youth is wasted on the young. So he made a mistake while he was young, and he realizes it now, but he was too stuck to do anything at that point.
Does he have any other family that would inherit the family business, or would that now be between your child and Brom?
I believe his father was very healthy, and so his father wasn't declining at all. But overall, I think it was just him. His brother had his own separate company and was kind of the head of that. But no, he was pretty much the only one, and I genuinely believe if he had gotten a divorce, who else would his family have gone to? They weren't necessarily the most approving of Serafina and Brahm, but they put order above anything else, and that's kind of what I got from them the first night I met Kale.
Does his family know that's the pregnancy? Would this have been some sort of
No.
honor killing?
No, we had not announced it really to anybody yet. I had just told Nisa because she was one of my closest friends here. Just telling the
I
truth.
think I hate this lady.
Do we know when Lisa's body was found? Out of character.
I think she was one of the three in the graveyard, so at the same time.
Oh, were they all found together?
Yep. Yeah, she was one of the three in the graveyard.
Yeah.
I think that's about all the questions I have. Unless you can think of anything. Vaguely looks at
Yeah.
Sanchi vaguely looks at the glass.
Yeah,
Ask her how she sleeps at night.
Hold on.
did
Lyric, I don't think that's a good idea.
you said the last time you saw
Who?
Nisa was on the 22nd. Did she say she was going to do anything the next day?
No, it was a really quick stop in. She seemed so happy the last time I saw her, but
Happy
no.
for any particular reason?
I had a suspicion, but I'm not too sure.
We'd like to hear it.
Right. Well, what was your name?
It's Aelwyn.
Elwyn, have you ever been in love?
Of course.
It was like that kind of happy.
Oh, I see. You think she was sneaking out with someone?
I don't think she was sneaking out. I think Mother Nature apparently brought this gentleman to her.
Uh-huh. How long had she been giving off these vibes?
Oh, she said she had saw him fairly recently. You had asked if there was if she had seen anyone in the woods or anything, and
Oh,
or anyone dangerous in the woods, and she didn't seem like he was a dangerous person. I don't even think she spoke to him honestly, but she did give a description, but it wasn't like descriptive.
Yeah.
She said he reminded her of like the sunset sky you see in the countryside towns with the beautiful colors in the clouds, and she said he reminded her of nature itself, and you know, the trees, the clouds. His eyes were piercing like leaves against the day sky,
That
and it
certainly
just,
paints a picture that I can envision right in my mind's eye.
I guess, but to
Sounds
me
hot.
it's like you can see, like, it's so interpretive, and that's how she just spoke honestly, and it sounds like she had experienced what I experienced the night when I met Cal for the first time. It was like he was nature itself for her.
Did she have any routines about what she normally did on Thursdays, for instance?
Not that I know of. She's being truthful.
More so, I was trying to see if she was holding anything back.
No, she is not. But no, I didn't know her day-to-day week life. I just always kind of assumed she was getting all the orders ready, and then I would go in and help pack them up, and then she would give them to me to send out. Is what I imagine her day-to-day week life was, but I wasn't there, unfortunately. I wish I had more time with her now.
I guess
Oh,
that's...
she's probably got better company now.
Well, I guess.
Lyric's a little blunt today.
That hadn't
Today?
really be messing with him. A little cranky. Needs a nap.
What are you talking about? I'm more straightforward.
Mm.
Mostly.
Well, you're forward anyway.
Is there anything else that we should know about Kale? Anything that might pertain to why he was
Lisa?
targeted?
I couldn't be the first to tell you what or who would want to kill such a charismatic, charming, dedicated father and businessman. He had great
Dedicated.
relationships with all of his business partners.
Does she really believe what she's saying right now? I am insight.
I don't know,
this.
insight. Yeah, she
Lyric,
does.
Crazy.
Lyric rolls his eyes so hard. Blah, 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 blah.
Dedicated father. You can
You
really
really don't like her, Lyric. That's a first.
If she didn't kill the guy, and fate did him a favor.
I guess having no further questions and it seeming like neither does Lyra, Silith, or not Silith, Elwyn would make this snide kind of disguisedly snide comment that
Yes, a dedicated father who would never see his son again.
Well, everyone has their faults, I guess, but to me, Kale was as bright as the stars in the sky.
He must have had a magic stick.
She's telling the truth. She is in love with this man still.
What if I was inciting on the magic stick?
You would agree. But no, there's I know nothing about his tragic murder. And I hope that you all are competent enough to solve it. But I do have my doubts seeing you barely knew their names, which is a disservice to the victims, and everyone learns. So, no further questions for me.
I do not believe so.
Fantastic. And, like, shortly after, you, like, see the guard come in and he, like, takes her by the arm and she leaves with her sunglasses and hat on. And she leaves.
Wow, she was a bitch.
Put her sunglasses on inside.
I've seen her type before. It's just how they are. Silver spoon in their mouth and what's not.
What does that even mean?
It means they use spoons, Lyric.
Don't
suppose that's
roast
true.
people?
Some people do not.
Some people just use their fingers.
Yep.
I mean, spoons are
Oh, that's
usually
fair.
liquid, so you'd use a cup, not your fingers, but silver spoon means they were born hoity-toity. They think they're better than anyone else.
Are we in the same room?
Oh, so they all suck.
Yes.
I'm assuming if she left, we would have left.
Yeah, you guys
Mhm.
are in the room with everybody again, so.
I mean, I've seen her type too. I just usually am working when I see them.
I usually rob them.
He's also working when he sees them.
Well, if I see them, that's fine, as long as they don't see me. And I guess someone has yet. Except for, and then he looks at Alara.
She just, like, yawns. She goes, "Good golly. That woman."
Did you have to interview her before us?
I watched the interviews beforehand, and the
Oh yeah,
she
another
was
question for you.
pretty much the same.
Oopsie.
So she's consistently a bitch.
No, it's thankfully for us, by coincidence, we had women interrogating her, so
Oh.
the men that interrogated her was a much different story. But
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, so
In
Well,
what way?
You saw the way the guard brought her
Probably.
water.
exactly.
I was going to say, probably looking for a new father to her child.
Well,
What?
I don't think she was looking for a new father, but she certainly put up that guise. And in short, they couldn't get anything done because they kept getting sidetracked.
They
So,
couldn't keep
Can
it
I go-
down.
Can I go in there with her?
well, she's left.
Don't you
but...
hate her?
Damn it. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna give a shit. Besides, there's someone so much better right here.
Wait, someone you wouldn't sleep with?
Oh, I
Hey.
want to incite that comment on us.
Does he aim at Ilara or his sister?
Or the owl. Or
He- he
Stockade.
Oh god.
He points at Alara.
Yeah. And she just like stretches. Yeah. Well.
Exactly.
Touches
Besides,
the
I
loud
already
voice behind
figured
your
out
back.
that recently that I am best gift giver, and be kind of weird if I started hitting on other people after figuring that out. You know, kind of a dick move.
Well. I digress, but she no, in short, their interview was also much more halted because she had her lawyer in the room. So they didn't get to ask many questions anyways.
Male lawyer.
So when they can stay on task, she lawyers up, and when they can't stay on when they can't stay on task, nothing gets done.
Mm-hmm.
Convenient she
No.
didn't bring her lawyer this time.
Because she's already been cleared of everything. Not just that. Her lawyer is a notorious one.
Piece
So,
of work.
Like a piece of shit.
more so. let's just say he pretty much pays the payroll of a lot of the police here.
That doesn't sound legal.
This is why money
Yeah.
is bullshit.
Yeah, which is why we were brought in. But the issue is most of the time the police just bring the recordings of whatever happens in this room to that lawyer, and they go about their sleazy way as much as they try. But unfortunately for them, they don't have access to the footage from our interviews. So
Hey,
she's
Laura,
SOL.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why are all of these victims listed out but not Gale? Why is Gale not a victim?
Well, they didn't include him originally, but I genuinely don't know why he was listed, but
Why he
or not
wasn't listed?
listed.
Is it
Yeah.
because they know he sucks too?
I think it goes more for an MO, even though the
Yeah.
injury counts, but him being a male does
Yeah, but
not fit the rest.
Well,
didn't he also have the egg thing in this?
he
That's
did,
what I'm saying.
He
but
fits the MO.
he genuinely does. But they didn't put him in there only because they're focused on the women for some bizarre reason. Probably because there's more of them. But the other original storyline that they had going is that he did it to himself. So
That didn't even make sense. He carved the egg thing in his own neck.
And then impaled
Well-
himself on the rafters.
Well, they imagine he impaled himself, and they believe the egg thing was after.
I mean, the egg thing was probably always going to be after, wouldn't it?
I would
Yeah.
imagine so, but
Big leap in logic there, guys. Ugh.
yeah, no. They didn't list him for whatever reason, and ultimately I think they believed he was just separate or not connected. It genuinely seems like a different team was working Kale's case. But yeah.
Mm.
Plus I just don't think they had any leads for him. So they just left it under Serafina.
That seems terrible. A 2-for-1 deal?
Pretty much. They were like, whatever happened to Serafina is going to give us the answers to Kale anyways. So, because they're assuming it's the same person, which
I mean, it doesn't
I may
sound
or
like
may
it,
not
but
agree with, but
if she left way early in the morning, it's not like it happened at the same time.
correct. I think the issue with it, from what I'm noticing, is well, we know Brahm's telling the truth from what we could tell. He's the only one that can verify, really, that quote unquote that she left early that morning. For all we know, the killer was already in the house that morning. She never walks and leaves.
I
If
mean, didn't
well, in
Val
theory,
just admit that she was called over because Serafina left early?
yes and no. So here's the issue with it. If the killer was already in the house, and let's say, just throwing off theories here, if Brahm was working with the killer, you then have a killer already in the house. His mom is gone, murders his dad. I imagine Brahm's smart enough to hack into a phone. It wasn't a call, it was a text message saying that his wife left early.
So it seems like you already figured this out.
In a sense. I'm waiting to see what uncovers because their theory is that Brahm did it all. I don't think that's the case. Even if he is bigger than a usual 12-year-old, he does not have the strength or body to hang up his father. Alone, at least. So I think he had someone to help him. He seems
I
like the
think it
brains.
could be that mysterious man he saw that looked significantly like our friend Kipper.
It's either
Friend.
him or this Rook guy, is what my personal theory is. I think Brahm put it all in motion and he just acted it out. Rook did. He has the MO of it from what everyone's saying currently, and they're fitting and staying true with that. Rook is somehow involved and tied to everyone we've spoken to. He seems pretty violent.
Except for Nessa
Yeah,
and Belle.
exactly. But even then, if he broke into the house or attempted to break into the house, if that is true, what Valna just said, then he knew where this home was. He probably, Nissa was probably just a bystander, if anything. He could have easily killed her, left her in the woods for a while, because she probably saw him break in.
Hmm.
Well, it
I
wouldn't
thought
have
the
worked
house
out
was
like
pretty
that.
far.
Yes.
There's the graveyard and then a decent bit of woods, so
Well, depends. Did she come out for some reason? Who knows? There's a lot of variable with it and missing timelines, but at some point we can go out and see the land and get more of a lay of it. But
And what's your
overall,
explanation for the egg-shaped scar wound?
that I think is genuinely meant to be a red herring to make us believe it's a cult in the area, especially if Brahm knows ancient religions.
Mm,
he seemed too excited to tell the cover of his potential crime.
Yes, I agree, which is where I'm torn on it. I'm like, either the kid is a great actor
Wait, I know what to do.
or is actually innocent. But
I'm going
Mm,
to insight
I think
Alara.
go for it.
Oh, never mind.
Being truthful.
I personally think that he's innocent. I
I
don't
am
know.
torn. I don't know if the egg shape was his idea or not, but from what I've seen of everything with Rook, he let's just say, do you remember that Tasha guy?
How could we forget?
Yes.
Very similar to that, except imagine not calculated. So similar to if Wade was aggressive.
Was
Was. He's a sweetheart.
true.
He's never been aggressive, but same body type mostly and same skill set from what it sounds like. Based off of the footage that I saw of Rook when he was in jail previously, they tend to fight the same.
Hmm.
So,
It,
Has
it could also be that
anyone searched the woods and this second graveyard?
second graveyard, I'm not sure about, but I know they've been out there constantly because they're still digging up for bodies.
mm,
So, we'll be able to go out there tomorrow, if anything.
That sounds like a nice change of pace.
is it possible that Rook could have just snuck in on his own and waited? I mean, if people knew about this enough that we eventually found out about all of this affairs, I'm sure someone could have, I don't know, hired him, or maybe he had his own reasons to take them out. And if nobody else believes this kid, how easy would it be to stick him with it?
Exactly.
Could also
But-
be a manipulation tactic if you're going that route.
It's tricky,
Or-
but
Back to what you said earlier, culty.
haven't seen any cult-like activity, but it is
Doesn't mean it's not underground, and it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Some
True.
things can be hidden even from you, ma'am.
True. But I'm not too sure. I know right now, based off of what I do know, I know the police are wrong here in trying to say that Brahm did it all, seeing none of those timelines add up. But I don't think he's entirely innocent either. Well, clearly he's not. He was robbing graves. But outside of that, he just seems a little bit, I don't want to say too obvious, but overall they're pinning it on him currently, is what they're trying to do. So, hence why they have him in custody already, plus for his other crimes. But, yeah. Currently, with the information that I know, it seems like Brahm would have the most information for it. He'd have the money. All he needs is the physical strength on it, and he, in theory, shouldn't have had a motive to kill several of the women attached, but if Rook gave him reason to, very diabolical duo.
Seems more like you'd have more reason to get rid of Val, especially if inheritance would have been split with her child. And the personal
No.
hatred.
Yeah. No, I'm not too sure why. Well, the issue is I think that would have been too obvious for him to just kill all of them.
Is it possible that the wife sent the message?
Could have been.
Did the work herself? Left? I mean, we still haven't found her.
Exactly. I was like, she's technically still out there, but they're presuming her dead currently. But I don't know if I agree with that either.
I
But
wouldn't.
I was like, she technically could be even another suspect, but the issue is that find her first. Cause, well, who knows? Who knows if she knew Nisa at all or not?
Well, didn't they have some sort of bad blood, especially with Brahm being too close to her woods?
Yeah. But I don't know. I find it odd that Nisa, who usually is elusive from what it sounds like and stayed in her woods, then comes up to the graveyard every now and then to talk to spirits. She puts in quotations, spirits. And Serafina just flips out on her for being on essentially Nisa's own property. It seems out of character for Serafina. She wasn't known to just fly off the handle. There had to be a reason why she was screaming at her, which means they probably had more of a connection than we know, but
A
one's
stressful day
dead.
can make anyone unhinged, though.
Yeah.
I
So,
thought there was also drama with her son being too close to her woods, and
yeah.
And bad
Which
blood
It
even
seemed like
then,
she was just picky about quote unquote her woods. So
Yeah.
maybe she had more to hide there.
possibly. They said they checked her house, but again, I don't really trust the what the police found. So,
they said they didn't find evidence of Val being there when she had been there, so.
yeah. At least not at the crime scene. Don't misquote her. Of the crime scene.
She was
So.
very aware of where the crime scene was.
You can thank her lawyer for that. But yeah, no. The girl's gonna have lawyers out the wazoo.
Not surprising, someone of her caliber would.
Yeah.
Our
No,
lawyers
pretty
are
much in
expensive.
Benedict, it's their business is very, very big. And they worked, pretty much with any official there. She doesn't do base one's uniforms because they choose synthetic fibers, obviously, but she any of the historical dress from any of the royal families and all of that. So she works with all of them. They afford the best of the best. But
Mm.
it's here nor there.
So we're going out to the crime scenes, or
Probably tomorrow. We'll go.
okay?
Today, I think we need to sit and head back, eat dinner, and because that was an excruciating 2.5, 3 hours of
I agree.
questioning and hearing the most spoiled brat have a life and
Mhm.
be oh so in love. Maybe I should introduce her to RQ. His beautiful love affair, his love life that's in question. But
That'll be more in
She
question
does.
if you introduce them.
I say she
I
does
mean,
seem to prefer married men.
that she does.
I mean, she'll never have to interact with the
With
wife. No
children.
one knows where she is.
Truly.
Committed
Protects
fathers
her.
with children.
Exactly. He
Very
is her
funny.
prime candidate. And he has a good job. Whew. RQ better watch out for that one. Valma. Ugh. What's even worse is she probably knows him in some regard. How crazy is that? But
Ugh.
Wait,
He
text
probably
and
doesn't
find
have
out.
enough time off for her.
no, she's at a lot of conferences, as she alluded to. A lot. But yeah, she's
She
at a
probably
lot of.
cheats anyways.
She's. The issue is she's very connected to several people. Many people know her. She does not know many people. But in short, she's been invited to a few of our conferences in the past because she is close to a lot of the base one personnel. I guess well, she doesn't like them. Her family's very close with them, so she's been to several of the like galas and stuff. And needless to say, she has probably seen RQ, probably tried to talk to him, and he just walked away from her because he's not a gentleman. So, but he's very loyal to his wife, and he is used to women constantly trying to get with him. Hence why he's so angry at the press right now. So,
Because they put
he,
his hot face out there?
yep. And, just directly asking if he has a wife or not. Dare I say this isn't the first time this has happened, but I digress. That's why RQ likes to not ever go out on missions. He likes to stay at the Team B level. Because he just attracts that kind of crowd. So it's hard for you to stay undercover when every woman's just like, hi. So it's hilarious to me, but it's very annoying to him. Being attractive is annoying to him. Who would have thought? Existence is annoying to him. But
You could just cut his hair. I'm sure a bad haircut would fix a lot of his
RQ cue
problems.
ball? Ha ha ha! Yeah?
He'd probably look bald too.
exactly.
Not saying bald, but I mean a bad haircut. You know, give him
No,
a
the
bowl
Give the
cut.
issue,
fryer?
the
Then he'd
issue
just
is
shave.
his uniform is just not necessarily revealing, but RQ's a good-looking man. No one's gonna deny it, and he ultimately, is naturally strong, confident, cold.
I can fix him.
Well, he doesn't need fixing. He has a wife that, embraces him. I barely know how he is in his home life.
Oh, I
but
just meant his good looks. I can fix that.
And
no.
Sanchi cracks her knuckles.
She's like, don't fight RQ. He will not lose. But
Yeah, I also won't lose.
I wouldn't bet your money on that one. But he's allowed to have a weapon. So, anyhow, let's head back, get some dinner, and then start kind of compiling what we all need to look for at the crime scene, I guess, would be the best thing to do, and probably go to Valna's house, or not Valna's house, good heavens, no, Nisa's house. It sounds like, correct?
That sounds correct.
Search the woods, potentially that extra graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's a hidden one, and the other 3 victims were found at a more public one.
Well,
I mean,
yes,
the last
they
place you
were
would look for a dead body is where dead bodies are, so.
correct. No, the bodies were found mostly in the woods in between the 2 graveyards. But bygones be bygones. Well, let us head on back. And you all get in the car as you all leave, and you notice, like, all the cops just, like, start straightening themselves up and all of that as you guys are walking by. And you all get in the car. She gets in the front, and she's like, Stuckeen, are you coming?
Fine.
Oh, lucky.
Toodaloo!
Ta-ta.
Wait.
And Stakeen just kind of glares at all of them.
Claire's back.
And with that, you all get in the car. You see the little robot just like immediately like hear the
Oh,
door
no.
open, and he just like swivels down into the table. Like, nope. He's just like, not these fools. And
We've lost all interest in you anyway.
thank
Do
goodness.
not lie to him. Lyric reaches under the table and picks him up and holds him like a
Oh no,
T-Rex.
he's like sunk into the table. Like oh god, what are those?
He and the table
Like
are
he's
one.
yeah, like
Oh,
he's in the
okay.
table. Like a button that's been pressed down. He stays in there. He's
Oh.
like, nope. He's gone to his little cubby.
I
But
promise not to throw you around this time, and no one's gonna try to open you.
I must focus on driving. I cannot entertain your questions today. I am sorry.
Elara's driving though.
No, she isn't.
It's on this little table, right?
Like, yeah.
Inside of it.
Cool. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna move and I'm gonna sit on top of it, crisscross applesauce.
And he's just
And just
like,
glare at the 2 of them.
What? Why are you
Please,
looking
be
at us like
seated.
that?
in a proper seat with a seatbelt for your own safety.
I'll be fine.
Well, I cannot force you. I can just give the recommendation of the law.
Yeah, laws are for chumps.
Oh, a criminal isn't following the law. Ooh.
That is a very ironic joke. You did good in the humor department today, Lyric.
Is it fucking with me right now?
No, it's
This is known
praising
as
you.
sarcasm.
Hmm.
Another form of humor.
Does
To
anyone
some.
think that Lara would be mad if I kicked it?
It's in the table.
Please do not damage the property.
Are you going to move me first?
Of course I
Have
would.
like a
I wouldn't
sly
hurt
kind
you.
of look at her.
Do you want
Of
to
course
be
I would
moved?
never do anything to hurt you.
Then the robot stays.
Well, alright then.
And in the front of the car,
Oh god.
That's the other half.
and as they're goofing, Elara looks at you and she's like, well, how do you think that went?
Better than expected, but also there's a lot that should be talked about, but probably won't be. A lot swept under the rug, personally. And
Well,
it should stay that way.
I don't know, Dad. As she starts the car.
Wow.
That is one of the things that should be swept under the rug.
Oh. You need to talk to RQ about love life problems. He doesn't have, other children about, but
That
You
you
know.
know of.
Yes, I'm very well aware. He has not many children. Do you see how diligent that man is? He alphabetizes my desk work papers. He doesn't have children roaming around just because he's cute. He's cute, but his personality is insufferable. To a degree. Not to the public, but they love that cold, nonchalant man,
Mm-hmm.
which is him. Until, today. Maybe they'll finally see him as the jerk that he is, but they'll probably just like that more and chase him around like he's a clown.
That
But
sounds like you might be the one who wants that, ma'am.
no. No, 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 no. No. No, no, no. One,
I
I
deny,
never did.
deny. That's what they all say. And
The
Stakeen just
issue.
kind of keeps looking out the window.
No, Stakeen. No, no, no. I don't date coworkers. So,
Mm-hmm.
no. No, it's more so RQ is more of a brother to me. But no. He's also saved my life several times, so I at least owe it to him to give him some credit for what he is good at. Which no, he's not my type. I like someone more fun. He's too uptight.
Uh-huh.
True. Why, Stakeen, are you interested?
In.
Well, I guess I'll ask him.
No.
See, he's not someone you want to go with, except for if you don't know him. If you just go off of the cover, then yes. But once you actually I don't know, hear him speak, and how he normally speaks, not to his public persona, which I genuinely think my boss did that on purpose. But it's here nor there. He did do the worst in public speaking classes too. Mind you, his worst
Again, it
was
seems like you like keeping tabs on him quite a bit. Mm-hmm.
well, I kind of have to. He's one of my employees.
Not to this degree.
No, I was just in the classes with him, so I know. But yeah, no, his worst was a 99.9%, but it's here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, what's your theory?
My theory on the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still find it very suspicious that what is Kipper's name again? What is his real name? Out of character.
Quentin.
Quentin. Yes. For
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, I just wanted to call him Quinn.
Close enough.
yeah, I guess. Stacking, yeah. that would track. I feel like Quentin has a lot more to play in it than people are, I guess, recognizing that there might be someone. You're talking about Rook, but I feel like I don't know. I'm just not especially since Brom mentioned someone that looks like Quentin in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that seems to be where my focus is, especially since we are looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't either.
But
The
if we're trying to
issue.
keep his escape under wraps, I can see why we wouldn't want to bring that up. However, I guess if we're really trying to point blame, this Rook guy does seem pretty suspect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot we still don't know, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd prefer not to theorize until we have a little more concrete facts.
I agree. No, I already have Team B going full throttle trying to find camera right now. of
Mhm.
anything with Quentin on it, because while yes, all these people can say they saw someone that looks mighty similar, one, how did he get here and never was seen by anybody? And two, if he was here, what's he doing? Plus, well, technically that is our job. We already have contacted the teams that need to see him or need to go and do all that extra work like we did in Berry Valley. So it's already in the works, and ultimately the police are aware that there was a chance of a random person doing it, but they were instructed after they gave a description not to look into it further.
Huh.
Just in the event that someone did recognize him for some reason. So, you don't want it out in the public that, oh, we have an escaped convict. Doesn't look that good on, base 3. But
Neither does having several convicts work as the task force to bring them back in, but here we are.
Exactly. Well, last I knew, none of you guys were actual convicts, and, haven't murdered anyone to my knowledge,
Hmm.
quote unquote.
I suppose that's true.
But you guys give interesting insight, which is always fun, at least.
I don't
And-
think any of us are here for a good time.
Well,
We're here for what was promised.
well, you can make the best of it while it's here, at least. And you guys arrive back at the hotel, and you go through all the little waves of security, yada yada yada.
Oh, I thought we
You
were at the
all-
base here.
Yeah, you are. It's pretty much your hotel, but yeah.
Okay. I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure, like, levels of security wise.
Yeah. No, you guys are good.
Wow, it's so pretty.
And it's not actually sunny. It's rainy and gloomy because it's always cloudy and gross here.
Oh, this
And
is
you all get your
Philadelphia.
dinners. And you all get to kind of just like chill and relax and eat. Well, after dinner, maybe you guys will then all go and chat or just chat tomorrow morning about the crime scene. So, is there anything anyone wants to do?
Yes, but I know we're close to the end of our time,
It's
so I don't know
fine.
if I should wait till next time.
Go ahead, ask.
Well then at dinner, Silent would like to sit slightly too close to Lyric, and just still is staring at him, inspectingly.
Lyric looks over at Silent, who has no idea that he's still thinking about that little like joke she threw at him earlier. So he thinks that's what this is about right now. Lyric just kind of looks over, just grabs his drink. Yes.
Real quick, I'm gonna do an insight.
On the drink of water. Is he thirsty? Is he thirsty?
In Kalishtar, she'll say, "Are you okay?"
All right. So, because this is Lyric, I'm going to say he's going to say one thing out loud in Kalishtar, but then accidentally openly think it towards her.
I mean, I'm not mind leaking unless you're accidentally doing
No,
it.
he's that's what I'm saying. He's accidentally mind linking right now. So outside, he's going to in Kalishtar say, yeah. And on the inside, she's gonna hear him go, fuck.
She'll like turn her head slightly and still stare, like almost getting closer, again still invading like personal space.
He starts to turn violet a little bit because he's slightly blue.
Violet, you turned violet.
Violet.
He like puts one hand back in the seat, whatever seat that's next to him. Sorry if someone's sitting there. Well, he doesn't say sorry out loud. He just kind of like leans slightly back, slightly very very nervous out of nowhere. Um, but hmm.
She's gonna take the back of her hand and put it on his forehead.
Yeah,
What are
slap
you
him.
doing?
Is that still in Kalishar or out loud?
Out loud.
Or I should say in common or Kalishar.
Yeah, that was common.
Are you okay?
I yeah, my headache's pretty much gone. Again, he doesn't realize he's doing it, but in his head, what you're hearing. What does she know?
She'll back up slightly so she's not like leaning on him anymore, and we'll take her hand away.
Oh no.
And just still kind of looks at him, like not saying anything. Fuck it, another insight.
Oop.
This isn't the interrogation room.
Beautiful.
So he's what specifically are you inciting? So I can answer.
More so like body language, like are you acting nervous or skittish or ill?
He's acting overly skittish because for two solid reasons that I feel silent could pick up on, which is A, you're a little close. And while he's got no mind, I also don't know if Alara's in the room. And if she's in the room, or even if she wasn't in the room, he might be like, "Oh God," and then outside of that, he's not sure why he's asking, so he's kind of like bad at lying to people he likes. So you're kind of, I'm just gonna say, yeah, you can kind of pick up like the little shake in his voice, and also, you're hearing what's going on in his head.
And she'll kind of sigh and like relax her stance just a little bit. Like not staring as intensely, we'll say. And still in Kalishar, I understand the mind link can be frustrating for a long time. I just little bit worried.
Actually,
And that's
you know
not
what?
still in Kalishar.
You know what? Fuck it. Before I need to be straight with all of you. But before I do any of that, um, hey Sanchi, quick question.
Yeah.
Are you overly protective of every branch of the guild, or just like the one you're from?
I wouldn't say I'm protective. I would
So, like,
just say that I am fond of the guild, and I think that it's a good place for good people.
Oh, right.
Yeah, protective makes it sound like I don't know. It sounds wrong. It seems like the wrong word to use here. You know, like you're not
Mm,
protective about your child's preschool, right?
I don't have a child.
Well, let's say you did. Like you just know it's a
Mm,
good place.
I don't
Or
know what schools
so
are like,
you'd be protective of your home, your tribe.
but I left them.
You'd be protective of Alara.
He just kind of feels steadfast. Well, if it's on that level, mm,
I
I
guess.
I guess I'll have more to talk to you about later. But
No, why do you
first,
ask?
first things first. Um, when I talked to Alara earlier, she kind of said something about her and RQ, and I told them what I asked you about Silas. The day that we all went out, I genuinely was asking you guys if you wanted to run. But since none of you did, I decided I didn't need to, be a distraction for it. And I've, for reasons I can't talk about, I've been trying to make things a little easier at the base, and I used the information I got that day to do it. Laura told me, because I tried to tell her before him, that I shouldn't try to keep teammates away from each other or something. And I'm not really used to doing the team thing. I don't want to keep things from you guys if it could hurt us.
What can you keep that would hurt us?
Well, the thing that I talked to Silent about the other day was the fact that, I asked you guys if you wanted to run. Well, I asked Silent and Stalkin said, I don't think Stalkin even registered what I was asking him, and Silent said no, and you could obviously fly, but also I mentioned that
You'd be surprised how far the long
that there
arm of
was
the guild
contact with the
stretches.
Thieves Guild.
It's basically like we're working for them right now.
What?
Yeah, it's like the same owner.
The same owner?
Yeah, like the guild is basically, it's like a cloud, And it's not like the cloud is only hanging over one city at a time. It's hanging over the whole
Well,
country. But it's a good
I
benevolent
know.
cloud, you know? And so it's not like we're really that separate from the cloud, We're kind of connected to the cloud, even if it doesn't seem like it. You get what I'm saying?
There's gonna be rain.
Well, no, but sure.
Look, I just wanted to let you know that I I did do that. And I wasn't sure if you guys actually were trying to keep that a secret or not.
Keep it a secret that you asked us if we wanted to run away? No, I don't think I was.
No, the fact that you and Silith knew technically made contact with the Thieves Guild.
We didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Then what was the cigarette thing about then?
Silas just gonna start kind of giggling.
Don't worry
I
about it.
told him I told them not to come near, not to interfere. We were being watched.
Yeah, but aren't we told not to do anything like that?
Look, some people make rules for those people who don't have any moral standards of their own and who need something to follow. And then there's people like me and Silith who just have good morals and therefore we don't need rules.
Not to
Okay,
mention
no,
it's a
that's
way
half true.
it was a way to not only protect myself but them. That, and I don't want to deal with it right now.
I don't blame you.
I would rather not have someone come running up and being like, "Oh, hey, it's been forever," and it turn into a scene and potentially make things worse.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
So,
But
if you tell someone to go fuck off, is that making contact with them pretty much? It was
Mm.
it was nothing direct. It was simply a do not approach. Just like if you look like a very angry, upset person, people do not want to come anywhere near you. Kind of looks at Stockine.
I
I don't
don't
know what you.
understand what you're talking about.
Neither do I. Everyone would want to walk up to Stocky and look at him.
He's basically our cue.
Look, pretty much everyone
What?
that was in that interrogation room, besides that lady, was attractive. All right.
You need higher standards, and just pats him on his shoulder.
I
What?
agree with you, Silith.
I just called all of you incredibly attractive, and you're like, have better standards. You just shit on everyone here, including yourself. What?
I mean, the irony is he's right.
I mean, I have
Here's
my own standards, so.
everyone has their own standards. Lyric, you have no standards. Which basically means you might be insulting us. Cause you'll fuck anything that moves.
That's not entirely true.
Uh-huh. Prove that it's not.
I don't want him to prove it.
Well, it's kind of hard for someone to prove it by themselves. And besides,
No, that's exactly
He's not
that's
using the
exactly the
allegations.
point. You just don't
well, I
do
mean,
it.
wait, hold on. How would someone that lyric kind of like sits there, steam coming out of his ears a little bit,
No,
trying to think.
Lyric, you're right. You don't prove the absence of a thing.
All I'm trying to say is that I do have preferences, and it's usually people that I think might be able to kick some ass and, you know, can handle themselves.
He's violent
Someone
sexual.
someone who wouldn't be bored doing pretty much anything. I don't know. I just like an adventurous person. And being in my line of work, that's usually what I meet.
We're in danger.
But I guess the last thing that I really need to get off my chest, and it's kind of been bothering me for a while, especially since I actually really started enjoying everyone. But Sanchi, and feel free to react however you need to for this.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to ask you, where was it that Silith used to work?
Why would you ask me that?
Because you would know, right?
Of course I'd know.
So,
I
Well,
don't talk about my life before the guilds
certainly
and
not.
after I left my home.
And it seems kind of weird that you would ask me where someone else would work right in front of that person.
If she doesn't want to talk about it, then why ask?
not only that, but I don't want to make her answer those questions. I don't want to make her answer any questions
don't-
about that place. I just want you to answer that question.
I
Just drop it.
think that
You
would
don't want to know.
I do. Because when
really
I
Eric, this is where no answer is the best answer. Don't dig any further unless Silith wants to talk about it.
It's not just about her at this point, because if it happened once, and Lyric starts basically kind of like unknowingly kind of emitting the psionic energy that he has from his class. And he's, for the first time since you guys really ever knew him, he doesn't have an expression of anger. He doesn't have an expression of like silliness. It's just straight face Lyric. Regardless of who I'm going there for, I'm going to find the black book inside that place. And every willing member and every put name in that book, I'm going to hunt them down.
She's gonna take a deep breath and close her eyes and just exhale. Everyone who hurt me is dead, and it can stay dead. There's no reason to talk about it.
If that's the truth, then I really have no reason to be aggressive towards the Thieves Guild anymore.
It wasn't the Thieves Guild.
Alright.
Anchi can agree to that.
I can. That's actually
Then
part of work.
I'm sorry for the assumption.
You know, some answers are best gotten not through asking questions, but through other means.
I will give you this much. The Thieves Guild is why I'm not in that situation.
See? We provide solutions.
I don't think this is the time to take pride in things like that, Sanchi. More of a solemn moment, wouldn't you
I think
agree?
this is exactly the time.
I will.
No, Sanchi's right.
Read the
I
room.
jump to conclusions.
There is a reason why I'm with the Thieves Guild, and they got me out of a bad situation. I will say that much.
Alright. I won't bring it up again then. And I'm sorry that it did. If you'll excuse me, and Lyric just gets up. I'm sorry. And he leaves.
Silith will give him like 3 steps and then follow. And wait till we're like, maybe not directly, but like wait till like a hallway where it's out of the public eye, more or less, to like more or less either grab hand or tell him to stop.
Yeah, go for it.
We'll say grab hand.
Grab a hand.
Are you okay? Sorry if I was standoffish. It's not something I like to think about.
You should never apologize on that subject. You're fine. And I meant what I said. Even if it wasn't just you, no one should have to suffer like that. And I'm sorry you did.
It's in the past. And I am... Who is it that I remind you of?
You remind me of Silas.
And she'll give
That's
like
all.
a little like cut, not so much a scoff, but like, huh.
I don't know if you picked up on this, but up until the last few months of on prison, I've never used any of your names. I don't know anyone like you. And even if I did, I wouldn't remember. But I know you all now. So you remind me of you.
That's... I think it's something else. You wouldn't have that reaction unless you've been touched by something similar.
I just have someone I need to kill. That's all.
And that's why I'm saying I must remind you of someone. So who is it?
You just have the same pain.
That's what I'm saying.
I am here because she knows.
Well, if you ever want to talk, I am always open, but like I said, that's just something I don't want to talk about. It's in the past.
I'll never make you talk about it. And as for him, I have no problem saying it. I'm going to kill my father. One day, when we get out of here, I'm going to go back. That's why I wander. That's why I'm a bounty hunter. I'm going to find him. I'm going to kill him. I don't know what will happen after that. I don't really care.
Well, I'll tell you this much. If it is kinslaying, be prepared to feel the same pain as if you were to die yourself. It is not a pleasant experience, no matter the reason. And it's going to be different than anything else, any type of other killing that has been done in your life.
I'm sure it will be. But I've never known him. He's just a stranger. And at the end of the day, I chose the life I live. And if I die making my own decisions, then I'm okay with it.
Then just know the old adage, when you seek revenge, bury or dig two graves.
I could die in here. You see who I keep hitting on?
Yes.
And besides, I'm incredibly forward. There's a chance I might get myself killed any day at any point just because someone pisses me off.
That it sounds like... No, never mind. I will give you this, though. You did well today. I am glad you are not the type of person to manipulate a child.
Well, I don't know. Kid was young.
And
And besides,
you're almost Zeus when you're serious. And she'll give a slight smile.
I'm almost what?
And she'll give a wink.
I'm so confused. Um
Man, the family drama is not getting beaten.
Good.
Cersei, I'm so confused as to what's going on, said Jamie.
Well, I guess you'll find out next session. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Ooh, wow. What fun. How exciting. I hope everyone had fun. I did. Did y'all have fun? Did we have a good time?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yay.
Hell yeah!
Yay!
Also,
What a
Great.
champion!
the word in German is spelled like this, but it's not pronounced sus.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yes. That's
I looked
not what
sus
it
up
means. It's this, not sus in German.
there.
And I'm not. I was say, do you want a spoiler? Do you want the translation?
I'm literally trying to look it up right now. I won't
That's
act on it.
hilarious.
Like if he doesn't know, he doesn't know. It doesn't matter if I know.
It means cute.
Oh, uh, so that went
Aw.
right over his head.
That was the
he, was,
point. Oh, she
he was
definitely
able
did
to
that
pick up.
intentionally.
He was able to pick up on the hints in the bedroom. He wasn't able to pick up the hints in the hallway.
Oh no.
When she's being direct but not direct.
Oh my god.
Well, folks, with that, we will see you all on, at least with D&D, we will see you back on the 1st of April Fools. Oh boy. We'll
Hell
be
yeah.
Oh
here.
damn! I should have waited to use it then.
Oh,
I've been practicing
God.
that actual line in German for like 3 sessions now.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
We'll use it as the
beautiful.
starting point for the next session.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next session, April Fools. Maybe we're lying and we won't actually be there. Who knows?
No, I like this campaign.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
we'll be there. No worries. We'll be back on the 1st with possibly some shenanigans. If not on Friday. We have Skyrim. I know what the heck we're doing. It wasn't like I reacted to that at all. But yeah, no. Friday Skyrim, and then Monday is Monday stuff, which you'll find out on Friday. Until
Life is
then,
strange.
go
Life is
find
Stranger Things.
all
I
of
guess
our
that's-
socials.
That's the technical translation.
And
Got the umlaut and whatnot, so that's why you
Ooh.
might not have been able to find it.
but
I
yeah,
was just spelling it wrong too in general.
there's literally 2 letters. But
I didn't know that. I was trying to spell it out like SEOs, but Z.
It did sound like there were
Oh.
Z's in there.
Yeah, it did.
The
The
S sounds
German
like a
language.
Z, and then the Strauza is a double S.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Okay.
But-
see.
the more you know. Everyone have a great night. We'll see
Good night.
you on April Fools. Bye.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye.